Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Assalamu alaikum, shalom, namaste, satnam, and aloha to my brothers and sisters in Hawaii. We send love, 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 and power, power, power to the people of Hawaii. Trying to steal your land, and that's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. We're gonna fight for you, even in the Estados Unidos over here. Welcome, welcome to Viyahta's tiny house village, and I want to welcome my YouTube family, especially with my favorite welcome video. This is my YouTube family, Viyahta's tiny house village. This is the journey that I have taken over the last almost 7 or 8 years now. So enjoy this introduction to the village. Yes, yes, yes. And you can see more of that on my YouTube channel, Viyahta's Tiny House Village. And I just uploaded the third day of my Cuba adventure last month. So you can go to the YouTube channel and watch 3 days now of Havana, Cuba travels. And they're not very long. I tried to keep them short. In fact, I think all three, each of them are less than 10 minutes. So you can have a beautiful video and pictures of Havana, Cuba by foot for 2 days, and then by taxi the third day. So welcome, welcome to Health and Well-Being with Viyahta. And of course, I'm Viyahta. I have a special guest coming on the phone today, my brother Seth. You're gonna love Seth because he just has such a mild mannered personality, and he's full of wisdom. And I learned, I think, that he's a world traveler. We'll find out. But you came here, I know, to loosen up those joints this morning. So important as we are moving into the colder season. We're not there yet because even in Florida, it's pretty warm. We are still in hurricane season. And from what I'm hearing, seeing, observing, there's a big one coming on the East Coast and maybe next week. So I have said my prayers and thy will be done, because some people need a hurricane in their life. And it's not me, but if it comes, I'm ready. I'm ready for hurricanes, and you should be ready too. So I know you want to roll around these joints and loosen up this body before we sit down for a couple of hours to discuss no fear of germs. Why no fear of germs? Because it's starting again. And what is it that's starting again? Let me just give you a hint of what's starting again. Okay, it hasn't popped up yet, but it's the Twilight Zone. It's starting again. And I think my guest is in the studio, so I want to move along, but I wanted to play the music for the Twilight Zone, but it's still uploading. We are in the midst of huge propaganda once again for the little bitty virus that's going to attack us and kill us. That's the propaganda, the fear. So we want to, Seth and I, my new friend, new brother, is going to talk about why you don't need to have a fear of germs. So let's get busy rolling some joints, and then we're going to come back and welcome Seth into the microphone. But first, let's get some music in the background. It's time for healing. It's time for healing. We're going to talk about staying healthy on a budget today. And right now it's time for healing with the sounds of blackness. So for the next few minutes, let's all get ready to roll around. We're going to roll our neck around first. then our shoulders, and then our let's see, neck and shoulders. And then we're going to get on our back, kick our legs up, and rotate the ankles, knees, and toes. No, 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 not the toes, but the ankles, knees, and hip joints. Get loosened up so that when we sit in our chair to absorb all this knowledge from Seth and wisdom from Seth, and enjoy the discussion and enlighten our brains, that we will be ready, because the blood will be flowing after this rolling joints. The blood's going to be flowing to the brain, especially. Let's get the blood flowing to the brain. So let's do this first. Again, we're going to roll our neck around first, our shoulders, and then we get on our back, kick our legs up, get those ankles, knees, and hips lubricated, and then we'll sit back up and activate our vagus nerve. So here's some time for healing music to go along with it. All right, let's roll the neck, chin to chest, and stretch, stretch, stretch. Roll that head around. Roll the head around. Stretching, stretching. Stretching, stretching. Now let's pause. Take a deep breath. Deep breath in. Blow it out. Deep breath in. Blow it out. And let's keep that breath going throughout our joint rolling. All right, let's go the other direction with the head. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Let's pause. Let's roll those shoulders back. Ooh, yeah, get that back loosened up. Feels good already. We were meant to live in peace and harmony, and we are harmonizing our body right now. And let's roll forward, loosening up the back. Woo, feeling good, feeling good. And let's go swimming in the sea of energy. Sea of energy and backstroke, loosening up the shoulder and back muscles and even the chest muscles. All right, let's get on the floor now. Kick those legs up and let's roll around the ankles and the wrists. Breathing in and out. And let's pause and go the other direction. All right, feeling good. The blood starting to flow, lymphatic systems draining, and circulation improving. Yes. All right, let's rub the hands together. Massage those knees, and let's roll those lower legs to lubricate the knees in both directions. Now, if you had trouble either rolling your joints around on your ankle or your knees, just point and flex those feet. Point and flex. If you can't roll your feet around, just point and flex your feet. And that'll also get your circulation moving. Point and flex. Same thing with your knees. If you have trouble rolling your lower leg around, just bend the knee and point and straighten. Straighten the leg, bend the knee. You're going to have the same effect, improving your circulation by just bending the knee and straightening the leg. Do this if you can when you're in bed. Do this about 20 or 30 times. That'll really get that blood flowing. All right, let's roll over on our side. Oops, I disappeared. We're on our side, and let's roll that lower leg around. in both directions, forward and back. Lubricating that hip joint. Yes. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Now let's flip over to the other side. And let's even up, get that other hip joint lubricating those joints so we can have our lymph system flowing into the hip area. You've got lymph glands all over your body, and you especially have, and let's reverse that, lymph glands in your pubic area. So you want to always keep this area in motion. Now, if you have trouble rotating your leg, you want to just straighten that leg on the floor and lift one leg at a time, straight up, no bent knees. Just lift those legs one at a time to get the same lubrication in the hip joints and improve your circulation. All right, you're doing it. Let's do it. Live together. We gotta live together. We gotta move together. Lifting that straight leg up, okay? Now let's finish off by hugging those knees and rocking side to side, giving your spinal cord a little massage, rocking side to side. And then let's rock to one side and push up. And we are back up again. Give yourself a hand if you rolled around those joints. Now let's just rub our hands together to finish off. Rub those hands together and then place them on the back of the neck and squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. We're activating that vagus nerve that runs from the base of your the spinal cord, the beginning of your spinal cord, the brain stem. That's the brain stem back there. Just give it a massage and you'll feel movement all the way to your toes. Ooh, yes. And then let's just give the rest of our body a pat down. Upper and lower arms in the pit of the arm. Tap, tap, tap. Both sides, let's give them a little pat down. Tap, tap, tap. Tap on that thymus gland right here in the middle of your chest. Around the breast. Oh, squeeze those breasts. Yes, squeeze those boobies. Let them know you love them. And they can release any tension and nurturing people. Release, release. Tap, tap, tap. Give your navel area, your microbiome area a little pat, 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 pat. And then let's not forget the back where your kidneys reside, right here. Kidneys and adrenal glands. They need some stimulation, motivation, massage every day. Give them a pat. Love, love, love. Tell them how much you love them. Yes, talk to your body. Tell your body how much you love it and thank your body. We say, thank you, body, for all you do to help me move in this vessel of love. Vessel of love. I am a vessel of love. And I move around sharing that love. All right, all right. Woohoo, we are ready now. Go to my studio. I'm going to move my laptop, let you see my beautiful plants spreading around on the ceiling. Yes, they're getting lovelier and lovelier every day. And we're back in the studio with my dad, Sherman J. Howard. Let's see, adjust the camera here. We are back in the studio, ready for health and well-being with my guest, Seth is here, I believe. I have someone in the studio who's pressed 1, so I want to open the mic and welcome 903-991. Is that Seth?
Yes, 991.
Hi, how are you this morning?
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, I'm doing good. So good.
Wonderful.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? I have an air conditioner going on in the background. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, you are coming through pretty good, loud and clear. So Seth is
All right.
from Seth, what planet are you from?
Planet. Oh, I'm from the sun. Yeah. I'm from the gaseous ball in the sky right there.
All right, so you heated up. You're gonna heat up this show today, huh?
Yeah, hopefully not too much. No, hopefully
Well, Seth, I went to your when you asked me about Instagram, which I don't use enough. I should probably use. I go there a lot because my youngest son is always he doesn't live with me. He lives with his dad, not far away. But that's the only time I see him or hear from him is on Instagram. So I go every time every time he puts on a post. Oh, let me go to Instagram see what he's saying, and I send him a little heart of love. But I went to your Instagram. I think are you Yehuda Buddha?
Yeah, that's one of my accounts, yeah.
And I noticed, you've been traveling quite a bit in your lifetime. How is that true?
Yes, a lot of travel. It's that air element. Sometimes we got to leave our neighborhoods just to explore and figure things out for ourselves. I'm still traveling, but something about Florida's got some gravity here, so I think I'm gonna stick around Florida for a little bit. Yeah.
Well, there's probably another hurricane on the way, so I don't know how long you want to stick around Florida because they're not much fun.
I know. I love how you said that before. You was like, some people need a hurricane in their life. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. And so, where were you born?
I was born in New Jersey, and I grew up in New York.
Oh wow, yeah. Tough! They toughened you up early. They toughened you up early,
you say
huh?
That again?
I said they toughened you up early in New York.
Oh yeah, right. Yep.
Yeah. Now I saw on one of your pictures. It looks like you were in India. Do you have relatives in India?
No. Well, definitely past life relatives. I feel like there's some deep connections there. And later on in my studies, I found out that having a African American mother or a Moorish mother connects us to all that, India and all that. So I definitely will claim it, just by the DNA sovereignty of things. But yeah.
And what was your father? Because you look like you have a little mixed heritage in you.
Yeah, my father was Italian American, and he had Sicilian in him as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So tell us a little bit about your childhood, because I like my guests to start with their childhood. It says a lot about how they developed into the awesome person they are. So can you share with us a little bit about what your childhood was like with your parents? Did you have siblings and that kind of thing?
Oh yeah. Well, my childhood was interesting. My mother, she was in a lifestyle that was not very beneficial for health. So, I came up, for the first year or two, in a drug-ridden environment. She was out at the trap houses doing her thing. She was doing the best she could, but it wasn't until I hit the age of 2 that my cousins from New York came and brought me up in a Jehovah's Witness environment. And from there, I was able to have somewhat of like a real family going on. And then, when I hit my adolescent, though, 12, 13, I got into trouble in the streets and drugs and all that. And just like the story of Jesus, though, I left home at 13. I came back. I went to India. I went to study yoga. I turned everything around. And so now I'm here to inspire people, especially those that are addicted to things, especially those with health issues, especially youth in gangs, and who are ridden by violence and stuff like that. So,
And
Yeah, that's
where
how we
was
started.
where was your father during your youth?
My biological father, I never actually met him, so he was not present at all, and I have yet to, write him a letter or go check him out. But on my side of things, my heart is light, and I wish him and all people the best. Because we don't, we just doing the best we can in this universe. This universe got a plan for us all, and it may look chaotic in the beginning, but there's always wisdom, there's always power in it. So yeah.
Now, now, how did you end up in India again at a young age?
How did I end up where?
In India, you said you went to India.
Oh yes. I ended up there because of my spiritual studies, and I had a friend on Facebook who invited me out there. She was like, "I'll buy your plane ticket. I got people for you to come out here and meet." And then when I was out there, I studied in the yoga and Ayurveda, and I also went and visited a guru who was popular on YouTube and the History Channel. So I went to go see him, and I studied under him. And that was, let's see, that may have been in 2013 is when I went to India. So yeah, 2013 is when I went to India. And after that, I went to Hawaii and Sedona and Mount Shasta to do further studies on health and the sacred grid work of the Americas. So we're in a very special place right now.
Okay, so when were you born?
I was born in 1987.
Okay, so you're near my son's age. Okay. Um so that makes you 36, right? What's your birth date, your month?
Yes. August 21st, so my birthday just passed.
Okay, you're Virgo.
Oh, I guess you say that in tropical. Yeah, it would be I'd be a Leo Virgo cusp in the tropical zodiac. But I go by the sidereal these days, and that's the Vedic, I think they call it, Vedic astrology. So yeah, I'm more on the Leo side of things. But I do feel the Virgo in me too. So I can't deny that.
Of course you do. My mother was born on August 24th. So that's how right away, I don't know all the birth signs, but when someone says they were born in August, and if they're close to the 24th, I know it's a Virgo. So that was my mother's birth sign. But very interesting childhood you've had. You've had to really do some forgiving on the biological father issue, and yet you've had a lot of men, I would assume, who mentored you, coached you, and loved on you. That's the main thing with missing fathers, is if you don't get that male love, that can confuse a person. But it sounds like you quickly overcame the fact that your biological father was not to be on this journey with you, at least in the early time. Is that right?
Yeah, and you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. And it's, I can only just say that I did my best at forgiving him, but, there could always be something going on. And, that's why in my studies helped me out a lot. Having master teachers or mentors who are men definitely sealed the wounds, the hidden wounds I couldn't see. So, yeah, and there was mother issues too. It's like,
of course,
that's what the yoga was for. It's like that's why I encourage people to have a master teacher or to have mentors, because we don't know what we don't know. I don't know what I don't know, and I still have master teachers to this day. So yeah.
Of course, you have mother issues, because here's the thing. Your mother sounds like was an addict, addicted to drugs. My mother was addicted to drugs. My mother was an alcoholic. And what we miss when in that relationship dysfunction is that they're not able to nurture us, because they're too busy consuming and feeding their pain. there's a lot of pain, emotional, mostly with mothers or fathers who are addicted to a substance. They can't really nurture you, the child, because they're busy trying to nurture themselves in their pain. So yeah, you have issues with that. It took me a while to forgive my mother as well. Even my father for divorcing my mother because he couldn't handle her alcohol. There's such a complex dynamic with parents and children. That's why I always want to know from my guests what were your dynamics in that early relationship, because that usually helps us understand your adult challenges that you're having today.
Well, I can definitely agree to that, and as well, though, is that this is a time, especially being 36, where I pretty much know what's going on within me, and like there's always more to heal, so they say. But that's the beautiful thing about having spiritual disciplines is that you do get to a certain point where you do have all your cards on the table, all the cards you've been dealt, and you're able to masterfully play this game of life. I don't really think that problems necessarily disappear. I think that we just get masterful. And then, like, I mean, every day there's always something to experience, right? That's negative. But there is a point of liberation. There is a point where you are free from being pulled around in directions that you don't want to get pulled around in.
Yes, and
so I'm gonna say I definitely a testament of that for sure.
You are in a generation, what we call the millennials, and I am so impressed with your generation that has so many intellectual, educated, and enlightened individuals. I don't know if you know about Vivek Ramaswamy, who's running for president. And he's only a couple of years older than you. He's the youngest person to ever run for president in the Republican Party, blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
But this man is spewing out. So, in fact, his campaign is called Truth, Truth, Truth. That's his campaign. He changed it a few months ago. And every time you hear him, you almost get chills at how much truth comes out of his mouth. And he loves to debate. He doesn't hold back. If anybody doesn't agree with him, he's like, well, come on in, come on in. And you are in that generation that I want to encourage, inspire, and invite to be on this platform because you are the leaders, our future leaders. And I'm rooting for Vivek Ramaswamy because I'm tired of seeing old white men in the White House and in leadership, period. And here he is a brown man at 38 years old with so much smart, so much wisdom that he's spinning heads in this campaign he has. So with you being here today, I'm really honored to have someone of your age, number one, who is able to have a conversation about health and wellness and well-being. And today we want to talk about no fear of germs because, as I said, the Twilight Zone has begun. Again, we're in another episode of the Twilight Zone where our government thinks we need another pandemic, another jab, another whatever the craziness. It's coming. It's like the hurricane is out there right now threatening us. And is the hurricanes out there, and then we have the government. It's like whirling around like with the hurricane. They're both coming at us right now. So today we want to be prepared for all the hurricanes coming at us. And that one, number one, fear. We got a lot of people.
We got this.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say we got this. When you were saying the hurricanes was coming at us, it's we are more powerful than we think. So it's like, yeah, there may be hurricanes coming at us, but if we truly put our heads together and our hearts together, we won't be that affected by any of this because we can't erase the karma, but the Most High is great, and a lot of these hurricanes are being initiated or being manipulated even further to be something that they don't need to be by the government. So, as long as we keep strong about this, like I embrace the storm, but it's like I'm also keeping the discernment that nowadays they could beam a laser beam or a direct energy weapon, and they could do all this stuff with the hurricane. So we just keep our heads high. I don't really feel like it's gonna be too bad. But yeah.
Well, I'm hearing the opposite because judgment's coming. And so we're going to take a break, Seth. And when we come back, let's talk about why we don't need to be afraid of germs, or are we too afraid of germs? We're going to dig into the germ aspect because that's how this new Twilight Zone episode begins, is you should be afraid of germs again. Get out the hand sanitizer and the mask, and you need a jab. They got a jab for us, all because of germs. So let's take a break. And when we come back, if you have any comments or questions, be sure and press 1 in the blog studio, or post your comments on Facebook Live, Soul Papers Healing. I'm also on my personal channel, and on YouTube Live, Viyahta's Tiny House Village. So we'll be right back after these messages.
Are you constantly arguing with your spouse? Are your children misbehaving and acting out? Is someone in your family abusing drugs? Have you been the victim of domestic violence? Are you grieving over the loss of a loved one? Let us help you restore serenity to your life. At Serenity Family Social Services, we understand that good mental health is a result of emotional well-being. Our goal is to assist you and your family in removing emotional distress and restoring harmony and balance to your lives. We offer individual, couples, and family counseling. I'm Howard Williams, CEO of Serenity Family Social Services. Call us today at 312-315-4820. That's 312-315-4820.
Do you want to live in a world without war? Join our global peace movement. Heavenly Culture World Peace Restoration of Light transcends culture, religion, ideology, and other boundaries to achieve peaceful harmony in the global society. HWPL is committed to bringing world peace and cessation of war through peaceful dialogue between religious groups. I am Director Shin-Suk Kim of the HWPI Chicago branch of North America. Join us for our next gathering. Call 773-580-1501 and be a part of the movement for world peace. Email us at chicagohwpl@gmail.com.
Oh man, God sent the monthly sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark.
Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456, and schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456.
And we're back. Welcome everybody from Facebook to YouTube. I try and I don't try. I am offering you different ways to listen to the show or view the show, because we never know what's going to go wrong. Sometimes Blog Talk goes down and Facebook doesn't act right, and we're offering you at least three or four different ways to hear the show. But before we get into the germ discussion, I want to play this reminder about the microbiome community, and we want to start there, Seth, because this is one of the major reasons why we don't need to have fear about germs. So let me play. It's a 2-minute audio about our gut microbiome and why it's an important organ.
Our bodies are home to over 100 trillion microorganisms. These microorganisms are found everywhere and make up microbiomes. Over the course of evolution, microbes have evolved with us and have an important role in the human body. Without our microbiome, we wouldn't be able to survive. Microorganisms live all over the body, but have the highest density and diversity within the gastrointestinal tract. The gut microbiome is vital for digestion and helps us break down complex carbohydrates, such as starch from potatoes and cereals, and fiber from fruits and vegetables. The microbiome also helps provide vitamins and minerals needed to survive. As well as aiding in digestion, the gut microbiome is thought to play an important role in protecting against disease. Stomachs with a healthy microbiome are thought to be so diverse that when pathogenic bacteria are present, such as Helicobacter pylori, which causes stomach ulcers, they aren't able to thrive and cause disease. Studies have also linked a diverse microbiome to improved heart and brain health, weight control, reduced blood sugar levels, and a lower risk of diabetes. An imbalance of microorganisms in the gut is known as microbial dysbiosis. A gut with reduced microbial diversity may make it more susceptible to infection. The microbiome has also been linked to the nervous system and mental health. An inefficient digestive system has been associated with an over- or understimulation of nerves carrying information from the stomach to the brain, and could be linked to a range of conditions, including depression and anxiety. It is thought that the microbiome is essential to your well-being, and there are ways to promote a diverse gut microbiota. Eating a varied diet, not using unnecessary antibiotics, and spending more time outdoors are a few ways to promote and maintain a healthy gut.
Okay, quick lesson on your microbiome. Because the Twilight Zone episode this year is about ignorance. People, the last 3 years, people ignorantly, some people, not all, ignorantly follow the guidelines of the government and the medical system that say you have to cover your face, you got to get a jab, and you got to be afraid. Don't touch anybody, don't hug anybody, and let your loved ones die alone because they got a bad germ on them or they got a disease. So that was the last Twilight Zone episode of the last 3 years. Now, here we go again. They're starting again, this new episode, same bullshit, but new episode. So, Seth, help me out here, because my word, and even Trump had an advertisement like, we will not comply. And I listened to the South Dakota governor yesterday. She is so amazing, so enlightened. She didn't fall for the bullshit the last 3 years. Her state's doing wonderful. And it's like, we will not comply. Seth, help me out here. What is your knowledge of the microbiome, your body? 3 of the things he said to help your 100 trillion microbes to thrive and not kill is walking outside barefoot, your diet, and other things. So, Seth, what's your view on the new Twilight Zone episode? How are we going to overcome this?
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, that was it right there. I was going to bring this into the show, is that, the microbiome, that area is the most powerful place in the body for our immunity. It's, and it's like the health of that is key. So, being germ letting go of our fear of germs and getting barefoot on the ground, getting our feet in the dirt, getting the sunlight on us, exercising, and, really being mindful about what we put into our bodies, because they've been trying to prep people for a while to be attacked by this. So they have us eating foods that are not good for our biome. And what happens is, common foods and too much eating is a big thing. It's like it goes in there and it throws off the balance of our microbiome, and that leaves us open to attack from, not just airborne stuff, but from energetic attack and psychic attack even, we're just talking about the physical level here, but the microbiome, it's a multi-dimensional place if you want to get into chakras and all that. But the microbiome, from my studies, especially in India, there's men and women in India who have took their spirituality to the next level, and they're able to sweat out venom and bring their body to a level where they could take a poison in and sweat it out or pee it out or let it go, and beyond the feats of what the United States culture is able to accomplish. So what they were showing me is that the power is in your gut, the power is in your navel, and so that is key. And if not anything else, that is it right there. So, this ties into staying healthy on a budget, because for me, what optimal health is to have a clean and free gut as much as possible. So one way, we don't have to get into the budget thing right now. I just want to say this, though, is that one way to stay healthy on a budget is to not eat so much, to maybe skip dinner and only have breakfast and lunch, or skip breakfast and just have a big lunch. That's a part of it, because if you're only eating 1 or 2 meals a day, that's giving your biome and your navel a chance to digest everything and to come back into its optimal functioning immune power. But if it's always got cheeseburgers and French fries and chips and liquids and all this stuff and chemicals, it doesn't even have time to digest. Let alone does it have space to protect you. So it's just that's why people's lifespans are so low nowadays. Y'all know back in the day in the Bible or something, people were living hundreds of years, and that's because the eating habits were definitely different.
Right.
So
no television.
Yeah.
So true, so true. I'd like you to get into the multidimensional aspects of that, because we don't talk about that, or maybe we don't think about the multidimensional aspects of the gut microbiome. But everything you're saying is so important to think about as we go into this period of the twilight zone, where fear is going to be all around. That's the MO of the government and the big pharma pushing fear. So you take their product, and like you said,
right.
This multi-dimensional navel area that is really, what is that? That's like first chakra, inner root chakra energy, and maybe a little sacral. Tell us a little bit about the energy around there in terms of chakras.
Yeah, well, when we talk about the microbiome, the first 3 chakras, you'd say. Now, for people who may not know what chakras are, this is the first chakra would be, your feet, your legs, and your reproductive and your perineum, your anus, the rectum area. That's like your first, second chakra right there. Your lower abdomen, the area below your belly button all the way up to the pubic bone, that would be like your second chakra, your sacral chakra, which is connected to your sacrum in your spine. And then you have the third chakra, or the solar plexus region, which is an actual region where there's light inside of you. And it's the ancient Egyptians called it the Ra, our inner sun, and it was, you know, regardless of skin color, you know, everybody has Ra within them. Everybody has an inner sun within them. So, but it's up to each person to tap into that. So that's your third chakra. That's the area, you know, at your belly button all the way to your sternum or the center of your chest. And then, you know, imagine what that feels like in the spine. So those three areas are the most targeted by the government, by food, by the water quality, by our environment. So the multidimensional aspect of it is because we're dealing now, yeah, we could go off, you know, into the cosmos with this, but I'm going to do my best to keep it as grounded as possible. And, you know, one thing that pushes the gut into a multidimensional nature are the parasites within the gut. The type of being that exists within the gut as a result of either a healthy diet or a toxic diet, or toxic lifestyle or a healthy lifestyle. So the multidimensional nature comes because the parasites, if it's out of balance and there's too many negative or toxic parasites, they get up into the brain and they'll have a whole reality set forth to benefit them. So a person's life could be taken completely away from them because of what's going on in their biome. Now, the minute this person starts to change the way they eat and they move about, and they start eating more vegetables, or fruits and, you know, living foods and the sunlight and the electrons and all that, the biome starts to change and there's more beneficial bacteria. There's more beneficial parasites, because not all parasites are bad. You know, that name itself may have something going on, but the life changes again. And now this person's having a great life, you know, but if you don't have awareness of this, you could be stuck in different dimensions until a master teacher or somebody comes around and they're like, look, you need help. You gotta eat right. You gotta do this, and the person's life change. And it's really all ties down to the gut. Now, there's an Indian guru, very popular on YouTube and in India, but he broke it down one time, and he's like, enlightenment starts in your gut, y'all. So you don't have to go travel the world and go to temples to find that out. You can just start eating right or start living right, and then you'd be like a Buddha, you know, no problem. But yeah, like if you want to meditate, so if people want to start meditating, you just close your eyes and breathe into your belly and fill your whole belly and expand into it. Expand and contract, and then you'll start seeing colors. You'll start hearing more intuition coming from your body. Your body consciousness will wake up. But this is only when you go within. You know, otherwise, just having a good, healthy lifestyle will do it too. You know.
Okay, so this is I mean, you learned a lot in India that most Americans don't learn, either because they have a religious mind and they reject other cultures' wisdom, or because the school system here doesn't emphasize health, for one, and teaching that type of wisdom and knowledge. So we're at a time now, especially with access to the internet and YouTube, you can learn anything you want to learn if you spend the time searching for it and listening. So what you're saying is that if you change your lifestyle, look at your lifestyle now. Are you sick? Are you taking drugs and medicine? Are you low in energy, for one instance? I think a lot of the reasons people are low in energy because they're eating too damn much, for one, like you said.
Yes.
And the type of foods they're eating are not nourishing them. They're just comforting their emotions. Let's talk about emotional comfort. That's what I think the biggest problem with people not being able to fast or eat less is they have emotions they're feeding with junk food. How about that one?
Right. No, definitely. That's the main thing. I mean, to this day, I still have to catch myself even, you know, like something comes up for me. If I don't at least sit with my emotions first, you know, I have to sit with my emotions first before anything nowadays, like, because I'll end up eating something that's, you know, it's okay to have some shifts here and there. It's okay to do your thing, but when it's like, if that's your main drug of choice, that's not going to benefit you. Definitely not. And that's what time it is now. Like, I wish to be on more. I wish to talk more. I wish to spread this knowledge more, because we are at that point where they are going to unleash something. They got it planned already. And it's all about your microbiome. It's all about your navel right now. It's all about your heart chakra and all that, where your heart is too. But it's really your microbiome, because they get us to digest so much crap. So when they do unleash these energy weapons and they do unleash all these bacteria, that's it. That's it. And God's mercy is great, so I don't feel like, people are just gonna be, just going through it. But if you've heard and you've not taken heed to the message, hey, you should have known better. But that's why I'm glad we're on the show now, because it doesn't take much to get healthy again. All it really takes, we could get into recipes, we could get into superfoods, we could get into them things. But the first things first is not to eat so much and to hydrate more, drink more juice and water and less food. So they say 8 to 9 times out of 10, people are actually more dehydrated and thirsty than they are hungry. So people are just stuffing their stomachs thinking that they're hungry, but it's really they're thirsty. Because this United States culture is a dehydrated culture. And that's what they promote. They promote it through the music. So people may not think they're getting attacked, but your favorite music artist is sharing that into your brain. Your TV shows are uploading that information, and the people around you, your aura, like it's everywhere. You got to be a leader yourself, But yeah, so not eating so much is the main thing, in my opinion, because let's say somebody's addicted to fast food right now. They can't stop eating fast food every single day. The one thing I'd say to them is, all right, if you're eating it 3 times a day, only eat it 1 time a day now. Or if you can't, start it 2 times a day and bring it down to 1. So it's all about decreasing the amount of food that you're putting in you and increasing your hydration. That is the main key. Now, I'm not going to recommend McDonald's. I'm not going to recommend none of that. I have no judgment towards that stuff, but I'm just going to keep it real with y'all. You have to just be smart, because it's about getting crazy out here, So, but the main thing I'm noticing is that these they call it the devil juice, these injections or whatever. And also what they're doing with the 5G towers and direct energy weapons and all that is you have to have a certain level of immunity within yourself in order to not be affected by what's coming. And even the people around you, you're gonna have to not be around certain people, because now when they say bad association spoils useful habits, or bad association will spoil you, one rotten egg in the basket will make them all bad. That's really about to be a thing. It already is a thing, but it's gonna be a thing more and more and more as these days come, for sure.
Yeah. So.
And then also one last thing I'd like to. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. One last thing I'd like to say is that the biome, to keep your gut clear and clean as much as possible throughout the day, will give you the energy. It will give you the power that you've been looking for this whole time. It also is known, houses the inner sun, the Ra, R-A, Ra, Israel. Like, that's inside of you. That has consciousness. So you go that's your own inner radiance and your own inner guru is right there inside of you. So people just got to spend time with that. And when we're stuffing ourselves every day, all day, that Ra is going to work. We putting ourselves to work too much. So it's like, that's why fasting is powerful. You don't have to pay anybody to fast. You just have to lay down, take a Saturday and Sunday to just lay down and drink water, and drink tea. But yeah.
Absolutely. And I want to do a little round of tapping. Are you familiar with EFT or tapping?
Oh yeah, I like tapping. That's so cool.
Okay. Because you've really shared a lot of information about lifestyle. And for us, I say we to overcome the addictions we have and the lifestyle that's damaging our microbiome, we need to be in touch with our body's signals. So when you do tapping, that's emotional freedom techniques is one word for it. Body talk is another phrase for it. When you do tapping, you release or let go of some of the energy that's constricting or clogging or blocking the flow of chi, blood, all of those powerful emotions, energy that can keep you healthy. So when you do tapping, you're activating meridians, or in you can. Well, how would you define the meridians in the body, Seth?
You know, meridians, I call them that. Rivers of light. It's in Sanskrit. It's called a nadi. Basically, it's just like a nerve, except on a higher spectrum.
Hallelujah.
So yeah, I mean, there's meridians. Yeah, there's machines that show that these are real things.
So there are rivers of light flowing through this sacred temple called the human body. So when we tap, we are talking to the rivers of light in case there's a constriction or blockage anywhere. We are saying flow, flow, flow. And so in EFT, you start on the side of the hand where the pinky, where the baby finger is. That is a meridian for the small intestines they've discovered on the side of the hand, either hand. It works on both hands. And so what is your small intestine? This is why we need a knowledge of what's the organs and glands and the parts inside of us that help us understand, understand why and how we can balance our microbiome and all that. So our small intestine takes in food, breaks it down, and then it distributes the nutrients to the body that we need, and then it lets go of the rest of the crap that needs to go out of the body through the small or through the liver and gallbladder and all that, and then out through the colon, right? And that's where the microbes start saying, yay, 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 here comes some fiber, here comes some fermented foods, here comes all the fuel that we need, here it comes, here it comes. So the small intestine does a big job in absorbing and letting go. So that's why we start tapping on the side of the hand. Now, whatever your problem is, let's just say you are in pain. Let's just say pain, and where the pain is, think about where is the pain in your body? Where's the discomfort? Let's just say you have discomfort in your body. And where is the discomfort? So think about the pain, this discomfort in my, let's say leg, this discomfort in my leg. Think about the pain in my leg. So while you're thinking, tap on the side of your hand, this discomfort in my leg, this discomfort. You don't have to verbalize it, just tap on the side of the hand, this discomfort in my leg. Next point is in between the eyebrows, this discomfort in my legs, this discomfort in my legs. And by the way, give it a number. Give it a number from 1 to 10. Is it 1, meaning you can barely feel it, but you know it's there? 10 is like you're screaming pain. You're really uncomfortable. 5 is like, I can feel it, but it's not, I can still move around. So in between the eyebrows, you're thinking about it's a number 7, say, this discomfort in my leg. Tap, 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 tap. You're moving the river of light, as Seth put it, moving that river of light. This discomfort, that river is moving a little slow, so I'm going to move it along by tapping on the outside of the eyebrows. Tap, tap, tap. This discomfort in my leg, this discomfort, this pain, wherever it is, just think about it. Then under the eye, tap, tap, tap. This discomfort in my legs or my eye, under my in my body, this discomfort. Then under the nose, this discomfort, tap, tap, tap. Moving the river of light, moving, because you're acknowledging, you're aware of it. You're familiar with it. This discomfort under the nose, then on the chin. This discomfort, tap, tap, tap. You can use one hand or two. One hand is fine. This discomfort in my wherever it is, this pain, just think about it. Think about it. As your thoughts are creating energy, and the tapping is saying, move along, move along, move along, river of light. And then on the chest, this discomfort in my leg, this discomfort in my chest, this discomfort in my hip, wherever it is, discomfort. Under the arms, this discomfort in my body, this discomfort. Tap, 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 moving the river of light along, move, 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 move. And then finally, top of the head, tap, tap, tap. This discomfort, this discomfort, this discomfort in my head, this discomfort in my head, or discomfort in my leg. Stop. Take a deep breath. Deep breath in, and blow it out. Pause, rest. Take an assessment. Is it still at a 10? Is it still at a 5? 99% or maybe 95% of people say it's much better now. It's much better now. It's much better. I don't feel the intensity of it. Why? Because the river of light's moving. Now you are talking, you are loving your body enough. You're listening to your body. Oh, I got this discomfort. Then you're loving yourself enough to tap into, you talk to your body with your hands. Your hands are the best tools to shift what's going on in your body, whether you're massaging your vagus nerve in your neck, or just patting on your chest, patting on your legs. You can feel the river of light moving after a tapping session like that. Now, the second tapping, and then we'll go to a break. The second tapping will be, I feel much better now. You realize your number is not a 10 anymore. It's maybe a 7. It went down a little bit. So the next round of tapping, starting on the side of your hand, is, I feel better now. I'm really feeling the river flowing. Tap, tap, tap on the side of the hand. Tapping in between. I'm feeling a lot better now. I'm feeling a lot better now. Tap, tap, tap. The river's moving. Pain is going away. Tap, tap, tap on the side of the eyebrows. Under the eye, tap, tap, tap. I'm really feeling better. Really feeling better. Tap, 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 tap. River is flowing now. Oh, I don't feel any pain right now. Whoa, yeah, this is good. Tap under the nose. Chin, tap, 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 but talking to your body. Oh, body, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Thank you, Spirit. Hallelujah. Tap, tap, tap on the chest. Just start expressing from your mouth how your body is releasing, letting go of pain, letting go of constriction, letting go of blockages. Tap under the arms, on the head, tap, tap, tap. I'm feeling so much better. I feel wonderful. I feel great. I am grateful, so grateful, grateful. And then pause. Take a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Blow it out, blow it out. And then just sit in the moment of peace. Sit in the moment of energizing love energy flowing through your body now, because you took the time to use your hands and your thoughts and your words to heal the body on a spiritual, physical level, because it was all thoughts. What did we just do? It was all thought, using your thoughts, your hands, and your words to tell your body, number 1, I love you. And number 2, I trust you. Number 3, I'm going to help this river of light move along so that blockage is gone now. So you're at a 0 now. Some of you might be at a 1 or a 2, but at least the numbers are usually going down if you spend that time. You could be in a traffic jam and all of a sudden you're angry that this traffic's not moving. You have someplace to go. I'm angry. I'm really frustrated. But just hold up that hand. Start tapping on the side of the hand. I'm angry. I'm angry. This anger. And then just go through the points. The eyebrow, go through. I'm angry. I'm angry. Just the action of stopping, pausing, and tapping is going to move the river of light through your body, help you get rid of the blockages, help it. So when we come back, if you have any thoughts about what we just did, tapping, you can share that here. And we want to keep the river moving. And we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back and talk a little bit about fasting because I went through a 5-day fast. I have so much energy. I'm sleeping less. I'm waking up with all this rest energy. I'm just a new person
Right.
just from, I wanted to go 10 days, but my weight goes down when I fast. I don't want to get too skinny. So we'll be right back to talk about the joy of fasting. How about that one?
Do you worry about finances, family, health, job, relationships? Are you in pain? Do you feel stuck? If you answered yes to any of these questions, help is available. Don't worry, you're not alone. It's part of the human process. You only feel this way because you haven't mastered the voices in your head. No hype, just down to earth, solid, workable tools and techniques that you can practice daily. It's really food for the soul. Whether you want to learn how not to worry about anything, reverse type 2 diabetes, publish a book, promote your product or service, or just make extra money. To take advantage of the deal of the day, go to zeldaspeaks.com or call 312-409-6619. Mention promo code The Female Solution and get free shipping. That's zeldaspeaks.com or 312-409-6619. Stop worrying today. Visit zeldaspeaks.com. I'm Viyahta, your holistic life coach. These days, it's more important than ever to work on your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Are you consciously breathing deeply in stressful moments? Do you have a plan or daily routine to maintain balance in your awesome body? Are you struggling to be disciplined in your eating habits? When you partner with me, I'll help you develop a personalized health plan that works for your particular lifestyle. You can find out more about me at yourholisticlifecoach.com, where you can also review my 3-step protocol to guide you to abundant health. That's yourholisticlifecoach.com, and I'm Viyahta.
Hi, this is John Alexander.
And I'm Naima Latif. Meet people like you who are making a positive difference in the world. Watch us every day on The Media Connection at www.youtube.com/The Media Connection TV.
YouTube it. We'll see you soon.
There are people who choose to make a positive difference in the world. Our job is to bring you their stories to motivate you to do the same. Join us each week, host John Alexander and Naima Latif, as we bring you the educators, entertainers, elected officials, religious leaders, and community activists whose works are transforming this world. Find out how you can make a difference too. Be inspired. Watch The Media Connection. Mondays at 5 p.m. and Tuesdays at 12 noon on cable TV, Channel 19 in Chicago. In other cities, check your local cable listing.
All right, we are back, and if you are on Facebook, you can always leave a comment. I'm watching for comments, and YouTube. I finally got all 3 days of my Cuba adventure up on my YouTube channel. So if you want to see more sites from my 3-day Cuba adventure, you can go to Viyahta's Tiny House Village on YouTube. I let my grandchildren watch it, for they were the first viewers of the 3rd day, and I was really surprised at them. My granddaughter actually took notes and told me what I needed to improve and what she liked. They both liked the music. That was no question. They loved the music on all 3 days. But the 3rd day, my grandson said, "Where is that? What is that?" He's only 7. He said, "I want to go there." I was like, "Wow, okay." So if you want to join the 3-day adventure, go to my YouTube, Viyahta's Tiny House Village. So if you're just joining us, we are here with Seth, our alchemist and medicine man, and world traveler. I would say world traveler, because When you've been to places like India, where no one ever goes in the United States, hardly. I mean, if you look at the percentage of people in the United States who've even been to India, it's probably very small. But there's so much to learn about nutrition, lifestyle, health, and so forth, because the culture is so different, and plus it's a huge place, bigger than the United States. So, Seth, tell us what you learned about fasting in India, because I think that's probably a lifestyle that everybody probably practices on some level.
Fasting, it goes beyond the India studies. However, there was something very interesting that the ancient yogis do. And mind you, I just want to say this too, this may be off topic a little bit, but, India isn't too far from the Americas being the old India. Like, a lot of Moorish knowledge is coming to surface now. A lot of revelations is saying that India is no different from, Black person or African American. And the culture actually, a lot of people are theorizing and seeing that it started here in the Americas. And Hinduism is no different from Egyptology, and Sanskrit is not too far from Hebrew, and Hebrew is not too far from English. So we're pretty much all tied in. But as the years went by, the geographic changes, whatever, people travel, cultures move around.
Right.
I just wanted to say that because we are very tapped in to that knowledge, to that ancient knowledge, and it's up to us as a culture. That's why it's going to be fun. It's fun to be in America, to have the Americans in us, because we're going to be shown a lot of things. So I do want to say that.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
It's not too far. This is, to me, in my opinion, this is the original India, North, Central, South America. But anyway, so what I learned though is that urine therapy is a very big key in India when it comes to fasting. Now, that may sound crazy to certain people, but I just want to say this. There's a difference when you're water fasting, and there'll be a difference between that and urine therapy fasting. So somebody who is drinking their own urine over and over and over again for months or weeks or days, and having a much more comfortable fasting experience, because what they find out in Ayurveda, and now we have to break it down with our science, but they never really wanted us to know this, but our waste products go into our rectum. The waste of the body goes into the rectum, so we have to excrete it out. But the urine happens because there's too much water in the blood. It has nothing to do with, because the reason why we have the waste in the rectum is because the blood had to be purified of its impurities, and those impurities get sent down to the rectum. And the purified liquid then goes into the bloodstream, but if there's too much water content in the bloodstream, then we have to urinate it out. So when people urinate, it's really their body saying there's too much water going on in the body. There's too much. And it's interesting because the body's so intelligent. It knows how much we like to eat as a culture. It knows what we like to do. So we're actually urinating a lot more than we used to. We're pooping a lot more than we used to, because our bodies are just really far off in nature. But, according to the ancient sciences, the most optimally functioning person hardly ever pees or poops, hardly ever eats, because they're getting their minerals directly from the earth and the sunlight and the breath. There's a lot of power in the life force, in the oxygen and the air, in the way that we're breathing. I was listening to the break, and you were talking about, are we truly dropping into our breath? Are we truly taking holistic breath? That's a whole nother thing, but that's key, because that's where the ancient human would get it main mineral source and vitamins and nutrients is coming from the gases in the environment, coming from the sunlight, just like a plant. We're just like plants. And if anything, we have fruits and we have all these things to enjoy ourselves. But nowadays, it's like, oh, I need to eat this to get this, when it was never like that. Because we're miraculous beings. We don't have to eat as much as we think we need to. That's why you said, you go on a fast, right? And same thing with me. I go on a fast, I got all this energy for some reason, you know? And it's like, well, of course, there's a detox phase too. So the first day or two of the fast may be really intense for somebody because they're releasing a lot. They're letting go of a lot of toxic buildup. So there's lethargy. There's not a lot of energy there. But once we get over those humps with hydration and breathing and laying down and resting, all of a sudden, we have all this lightning bolt energy available to us. And then I love that feeling. I love having a clear gut, and I can feel that inner sun pulsating with every breath. And I just got all this energy in the world, and I can enjoy a juice. I can enjoy a piece of cake now, or I can enjoy something really now. And that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah. So fasting, cut me off anytime. I was just going to say this, that fasting is, it's key. But what I learned is also that to expand our idea of, what type of liquids we can take in, because it could be tea too. A tea fast is very powerful for somebody who's not, who doesn't have the stomach or the mind right now to look into urine therapy. But that's a whole nother topic. I'm willing to speak about that more, or talk with somebody privately or whatever. But it's a very powerful liquid that comes out of us. Now, I'm not really here to argue, but I would love to debate. So if somebody wants to debate on this, we can go at it, because you already know when I first got into that knowledge, I was like, oh hell no, there's no way. It smells nasty. But I find out the strong smells are actually just minerals and strong concentrations of different types of ammonias and different type of constituents that are not that toxic to the body. So the smell of our urine is strong because of all the stuff we put inside of our blood, So, yeah, when it comes to fasting, though, it's all about resting as much as possible, and hydrating, staying hydrated, and getting the natural elements in. Like, a fast will be much easier if somebody lays down on the earth and gets an electrons, if they're getting sunlight, and if they're getting rest and they're hydrating. A fast is much easier like that.
Well said. Well said. You millennials just love to debate, don't you?
Yep.
Which is good. Which is good, because too much of the past 3 years was shut up and don't debate. Just listen to the science, blah 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 blah. And now let's have a debate. It's time to debate. This next round of pandemic, the Twilight Zone, we got to have some good debates going. Coming back with why masks are not healthy for you. Let's have a debate on the mask first and foremost, because people are already falling for the BS, wearing the mask again. I'm like, what is this? And I have to really check myself. Oh, yeah. Don't get upset when you see people wearing masks again. We had this long period of no mask. Oh, very refreshing. Everybody's breathing. Everybody's insanity again. And now, oh no, they're back. The mask wearers are back. Like, calm down, Viyahta. Calm down. Let's have a debate. Or I was thinking about making up flyers and giving to people who are wearing masks. And I think I have to think about my approach to people, because if we're going to have a collective resistance, we need these few strands of people, ignorant people out there with masks and so forth, to understand why it's important you don't wear that mask anymore. Why is it important you don't put that mask? Collective consciousness is what's going to heal our planet. Collective cooperation with truth. Now, we don't want lies. It's not a lie to say your mask is not going to help you. That virus is so tiny. All these little particles are going right through that mask, and all you're doing is keeping them in the mask and breathing. It's crazy. So anyway, it's craziness. But thank you I wasn't even thinking about how the urine does not consist of what's going in the colon or the rectum. That's a great point. Because I've had several people
Definitely,
try to tell me I
definitely
should be
not.
doing
No.
urine therapy, and I'm like, oh, that's disgusting. But now it makes more sense if people need to do that. Who needs to do that? I mean, that's the question is like, do I need to drink my urine?
Right. Well, that's the thing too. Is like what you said is very important to remember is that the body is so intelligent. It would never, ever put anything into the blood that was toxic. So before urine can even be created, the body has to take toxins and bring it to the colon because it's trying to keep our blood clean all the time. So it would never, ever, urine could never be a waste product. It's more of like just a way of keeping the body balanced. And like I said, it ties back to the ancient human. Like we just didn't pee a lot, you know. And if we did, it was because we ate too much or we drank too much water, you know. But all the toxins go out into the rectum. Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
that's
mentioned that because. Well, yeah, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I mentioned this because why would urine therapy be beneficial to somebody is because it provides the most powerful way to fast because they hide this information too, but there's people writing books and stuff. But a person can survive months and months and months just looping urine, but that's not guaranteed on just water, just pure water, because the urine has vitamins, minerals, it has all these things in it, and it's also structured water. Your kidneys structure this water, and we pee it out. Now, this is called Amroli Kriya. Maybe I'll text it to you, but it's an actual practice. It's an actual ancient practice that people can do. Yeah. Well, yeah. Why is this important? Because your fast will just be much easier. Like I used to do water fast, and they were just excruciating to me for some reason. But if I would do a urine therapy fast, I would feel like Superman. You know, and there comes a point where your urine actually tastes sweet. It actually is clear. It tastes like water after all the minerals are absorbed, and your blood is. That's why when you're peeing clear water out, where you're peeing clear urine, it means your blood is super clean. Everything is running well inside of your body. But usually it's the smells of the ammonias and the minerals and stuff that create that urine smell. So, I mean, that's what you get. I mean, we're going to eat burgers. We're going to be doing all this. What else? Our urine, our blood's going to be full of all the extra stuff, you know? So, yeah.
That is so interesting about the urine because I know a lot of people have fear and resistance. Is like disgusting. I'm like, I get it. But
Oh, yeah.
when you are familiar, and you're saying they do that in India often.
Well, it's a secret thing, you know. I mean, well, okay, yeah. Like you could go into an Ayurvedic store in India and buy cow urine. You could buy different types of animal urine for
Really?
medicine. It's just a different type of culture. Yeah, I mean, you could walk into you could get in an Ayurvedic store here because it's just a part of their ancient medicine system. Yeah, but it's actually an ancient yogic or tantric practice. It's a part of the higher stage when the person is becoming an immortal again. When the human being is becoming God again, they get into Amroli Kriya. So that's why I'm not going to just jump out and tell somebody to jump into urine therapy. They'd have to do some tea fast, or they'd have to, you know, decrease the amount of eating, do more breath work, get their body prepared because it's a very high aesthetic, very high vibrating science that brings you into a higher stage of living.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And then other than that, all those beautiful facts is the body uses a lot of energy to digest food. Okay. So when we think about the systems, and we have a caller, I'm going to open up the mic in a minute here. Uh, when we think about all the systems in this vessel that our soul is wandering around the earth on, the body uses a lot of energy to digest from the mouth to the rectum. There's this pulsating energy working to absorb the food, let go of the food, move the food, enzymes in the mouth get the food ready to digest. The whole system is amazing, and it uses energy that could be used to heal the body, not just to process food. This system is designed to, yes, process your chemicals, basically your fast processed food. It needs a lot of energy to process that. Even I thought about even taking vitamins. I worked in a health food store for 10 years, and I started to my transformation took place when I looked at all these vitamins that make money for the store, and all these vitamins that even pharmaceutical companies have bought out the regular it was just a whole lot of politics involved in the vitamins and the supplements. And I thought, how much energy does the body use to digest and absorb the vitamins? Because they're not natural. It's a man-made product. And so I started moving, and I had a house, and my dad had a cabinet full of vitamins that he would buy so many vitamins they would expire. He couldn't keep up with them, but he lived to be 95, and that's how he rolled. But I started looking at these vitamins as a part of the problem in digestion, that when you're taking 7 or 8 pills or capsules, that's energy the body needs to process that. So I started really letting go of the amount of supplements I was taking, and that cleared up some energy for me. And so fasting gives your digestive system a rest. It's like a Sabbath every day when you're not eating your food.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Rest comes to the body when you stop chewing, because the chewing is the beginning of the digestive energy that's going to work all the way through. And then if you're sick and older, let's just talk about age, because a 21-year-old is going to have an easier time digesting pizza and hamburgers and all the other crap that we put in our bodies when we were young than a 70-year-old trying to do the same thing. The system is not going to work the same as it did. It has slowed down for a reason. There are more important things for seniors to be doing than stuff in their mouth with food. We got a lot of work to do with this younger generation. We should be moving more and eating less. So what do you think, Seth?
Definitely. I agree with you 100%. I think that comes with vitamins and minerals, and for what's to come, I think it's an idea to consider fasting more or eating less and getting more natural elements into us. One thing I like to say about vitamins and minerals or nutrients is that it's actually very abundant around us, and that minerals, the gases. So, briefly, when we look at how things are created here on the planet, first things start off as gases, and then they turn into elements, minerals, and then from the minerals and the elements, then we have vitamins A through whatever. We have fatty acids, we have enzymes, we have zinc, magnesium. All that actually comes from hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon. So when we think about higher levels of nutrition, it would make sense that deep holistic breathing in the lower belly, deep holistic breathing, purification, sunlight, grounding on the earth, putting our feet in the dirt, staying hydrated, drinking the herbs, eating the natural food. These are the best ways to create any vitamin and mineral, because what makes you think? I mean, we can all agree that we're more advanced than plants. I mean, there's so many like we get our energy and vitamins and all that from the plants. And we're not getting it from the plants. We're getting it from the animals that eat the plants or the fish that eat the algae. So, but the algae and the plants, we have that ability. It's called biological transmutation. biological transmutation. Yes, there's books on this. A doctor has written books on this. Basically, what it's saying is when there's enough water, breath, sunlight, and earth going on, we start creating our own enzymes, and the enzymes start creating the vitamins. So we don't really, the whole vitamin and pharmaceutical supplement game is taking us on another route because they don't want us to tap into that immortality, but it's too late, baby. We on the rise, and it's coming out now.
Absolutely. And one of the things about Cuba, Havana, Cuba, exploring it by foot for 2 days was so educational because there are no big grocery stores there in Havana. There are no fast food drive-through Chick-fil-A's in Havana. So people are walking around everywhere with energy. I didn't see too many people in wheelchairs and bent over, fat and obesity. None of that. I didn't, very little of it at all. So that those people are living a simpler life, a healthier life. And then someone said that the doctors are sitting around the hospital doing nothing because they don't have a lot of patients. Guess why? They don't have a lot of grocery stores full of aisles of capitalistic products that convince you need this to live in this city. And then I just have to say this before we go take this call. You walk through the grocery store, I have to really put on my non-judgmental hat and looking at the carts that people are pushing around. Oh my goodness, I want to cry. It's like cases of beer, cases of Cokes, chips, and everything galore. Very few produce items, but there are people in the produce section. But this country has created a monster of obesity and sickness just having all these grocery stores. And we're feeding capitalism, of course, because on every aisle, money is being made by putting products in a bag or a package that's killing people. So let's go to the phones real quick and hear from, this is our brother, I think, Kwame Sunhorse. Your mic's open. How are you today?
I am very grateful, Sister Viyahta, and Grand Rising, and to your guest, Seth. Excellent comments, my brother, even if you are a millennial.
Thank you, Kwame. Thank you.
But, he spoke about urine, and, urine is old medicine. Back in the day, if you had pink eye or earaches, you always used the first urine in the morning of the child to put into that because the immune system has worked overnight readjusting the body and giving it its protection. So that first urine that comes, it has all the additives of your immune system. And this is why when you were speaking that people use it, because when you take it, okay, whatever your body was working on, if you recycle it, that's all you're doing is recycling the water and putting the immune system, what was in the immune system back in the body so it can finish its work. The other part is looking at what you were talking about, and fasting is great. Alvina Fulton was one of the great ones who taught us a lot about fasting, and that was our Dick Gregory, and a lot of the elders has gone on that talked about. But what I'm looking at is eat. We're talking about how to eat to live, right? This is what we're speaking in that. But EAT stands for something else. Expressive Art Therapy. EAT. Expressive Art Therapy. And expressive, it's a science in that how do we do rituals? How do we do art, dance? How do we do creativity? How do we do music? This is a methodology that is now coming back that they just renamed it, but these are ways in which we used to go to school. You had to go to an art class, you had a music class. Those arts were taken away for a reason in the school system because that gave you your creativity. It brought out those gifts that are in you. And then what they did is start to reprogram you with all this technology and all these games and that. And this is the challenge because when you were talking about the water and looking at the water, you live in a 5G environment. 5G evaporates most of the oxygen. And so what we're breathing is not pure hydrated oxygen. It's dehydrated. And so that's why we're challenged with trying to hydrate, because it's not that we're not drinking enough water. It's the air in which we're breathing is not holding the hydration. When you come into nature and you're living in nature and amongst the trees, and they're releasing all of this oxygen, you're more hydrated. But if you're living in the urban, which stands for you are banned from nature, you're dehydrated because you're trying to grasp that oxygen, and then they're going to make it even worse, because Viyahta was just saying they're coming back with the mask, so that's going to make you more dehydrated.
Right. Yeah.
So This is the challenge in learning how to eat. How to eat, the expressive art therapy that we have to become aware of and do again.
That is so. Seth, did you want to comment on that?
Well, man, I feel like there's a lot to be said, man. It feels like the rabbit hole is just getting deeper, because, I'm from what I'm studying and what I'm seeing is that if I have community around me, if I'm doing creative activities, especially if it's my own creative activity, like expressing musically or, having a beautiful conversation somewhere, I feel like I'm less hungry, like I need less sustenance. So what's been interesting is seeing the connection between food, community, and creativity. I feel so far that they're not you can't separate those three.
Spirit.
Yeah, exactly. And like the best, and what I'm coming to find out is the best food or the best nutrients for me is staying on my life purpose and doing what I need to do here on the earth. When I'm doing what I need to do here on the earth for God's chosen purpose for me as an individual working interdependently in community, I find myself less hungry. I find myself more hydrated. I came to Florida, super high vibrating, healthy. I dropped down and had some meat, had a burger, I had a little this, had a little that, but I was untouched because my awareness of where the true source of nutrition is coming from is my main lifestyle now. So, like you said with the mask, when they're telling us to put on the mask, now we have less access to the food. We have less access to the air. It's worse to have a mask on, not because it's whatever. No, we gotta have access to the air, but then now we have the 5G. So it's like that's what my question is. Like, when are we gonna come together? When are we gonna be here for each other to do that? But yeah, I could just keep going on about that.
One last piece, Viyahta. You kept saying, and I was wondering where you're going to get to it when you were talking about the grocery store, right? And what you're speaking to is the word. The first part of that is gross. All that stuff in there is gross.
Except the produce section.
Even the produce section, and that part of it is most of it is manufactured produce. Manufactured produce. They're not getting from farmers in the area. They're trucking it in and coming. When you look at the labels, it's coming from other countries.
Right.
And then you got the seedless products that's coming in, and all of that produce that is produced. Where was it produced at? Was it produced in the land around where you live at, or was it produced somewhere else and brought in and selling it to you?
Exactly. Okay.
That is the question.
That brings up an excellent point, Kwame, that even shopping in the grocery store produce department, you have to be discerning about where this came from. For one, you could pick up something and it could be made in China these days in the produce department, which is crazy. And especially if you're buying fish, or some other product other than produce. It could be from China, which is real risky, to say the least. But right, and then so how much of the produce is local? Very little of it is local. So that's all the more reason to
Right.
fast and leave that stuff alone and find a farmer's market. And I go to the farmer's market every 2 weeks about because I have some wonderful sources of local farmers at the farmers market. This means it didn't get shipped from California or China, and the food is fresher. And I've got two vendors at the farmers market who do fermented products in jars. So that's my go-to for feeding my gut these days. More and more of that is needed for me to stay healthy, is to feed my gut. Pickles, let's just say, healthy on a budget comes down to number one, fasting. How if you go on a 7-day fast, that's a zero budget for you, no money spent. Now, if you have children, that's different.
Exactly.
But even the children can go on a fast of sort. This week, kids, we're going to eat nothing but fruit. Or this week, kids, we're not going to have any chips and Doritos and all the other crap that they make for to kill us. So that's even with a family, fasting can be done. You're just reducing the amount of processed food on a family fast versus an adult fast would be no food at all. At some point you might start out like I started out with papaya and pineapple juice, fresh papaya and pineapple juice, and I drank that for the whole day. I was sipping on that. The next day it was a master cleanse of only lemon juice, cayenne pepper, and maple syrup and water for 5 days. The first day was rough. Second day was better. Third day I was flying. I was walking 45 hour and with no fatigue at all. It's amazing. And then when I came off the fast, I came off a little too quick because it was, I think, Labor Day. My son and his girlfriend invited me to go to a Mexican restaurant. Oh my goodness. So at least I started with fresh orange juice that morning to break it. So there's so many ways that you can adjust this lifestyle you've been on of standard American diet, or SAD it's called, to more healthy, life-giving way of living. Even urine therapy. I'm so much more educated about urine that one day I might try that just to test it. And then if for those brave souls who want to do that, let's do it and then come back and tell us your results. Actually, there's a comment here from our sister Zelda who says, I had urine therapy as a child that cleared up my horrible skin problem. Sounds horrible, but it works wonders. Thanks for sharing. And thank you, Zelda, because again, there's the testimony that as we've already said, you can put it in your eye if you have pink eye, or use it as it's been taught to us in ancient literature to be healing. So don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to stop eating and try fasting, because we're in a season of serious challenges are coming to all of us, especially in the Estados Unidos, United States of America. Go ahead.
Fasting. Yeah, no, when you were speaking on fasting and you said you had a hard time in about the third day, because what happens with fasting, and this has been proven by ceremonies that Native Americans do called vision quest or hamblecha, is that on about the third day is because the digestive system has shut down because you're not sending anything down there. And the part of that is because all of that's run by the subconscious. Now the subconscious connects back to the consciousness. Your level of your awareness in your consciousness is gone from 10% up to 100% basically. And this is why you become more spiritual and more energetic, is because what you've done is that you reconnected yourself.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And how about this level? Your level of faith rises in a fast, because a person who is reluctant to stop eating because they're afraid they're gonna lose weight. Like me, I had so much fear initially with fasting years ago that I'm already skinny. I don't need to lose weight. So there was a fear if I fasted, I'm going to lose more weight. My husband would, when I did a fast, my husband would just brutalize me. Well, you're skin and bones. Why are you doing this? Okay, I'll stop fasting, even though I was having a good time. But now that I'm single, I can fast forever, and I don't care what people say, except my grandkids. They call me skinny anyway. But you have to rise in your level of faith and resistance to criticism, faith that the creator gave us this body to resist food and to stop eating, faith that you won't die if you stop. I mean, I wonder how many people feel like if I don't eat I could die. And I've got Ellie Tom Elamim, my brother over there in Africa, walking from South Africa. He's up in Uganda now. No food, no water. Every day he's drawing on nature for food nourishment. He's not eating, drinking anything, and he's thriving over there, smiling, meeting new people. Just as you said, Seth, and I think Kwame, when you have this collective support of people, like-minded people who gather with you to laugh, to talk, to debate, even healthy debate that feeds you. All right, how about that? That's what's feeding you when the food is out of the way, and the consciousness and the awareness that what you need in your life is more collective unity, more healthy conversations, more laughter, even than those processed chemicals that we have been presented in these grocery stores. Seth, comment on that.
No, 100%. And you know, when we're fasting, when we're giving our bodies a chance to rest, it activates our brain, it activates our body, it keeps our vagus nerve running at 100%, 110%. And so, you know, and that's what most people talk about, the Most High or the Lord of Lords or the pineal gland, the third eye. I mean, that to have those higher communications going on in the body, you have to have that sword of Christ, or the gut brain axis, or the AKA the vagus nerve. That has to be 100%. That has to be functioning 100%. But if the body's always digesting food, there is no power going to them higher glands in the brain. So it's like everybody has the connection to the Most High within them, or God, whatever you want to call it. It's in your brain. It's in that dark matter cave inside the pyramid in the center of your brain. But if there's no power coming from the gut because there is no hydration, there's no breath, well, then you're gonna need YouTube. You're gonna need all these master teachers or something. But we all actually have access to the divine consciousness if these glands and if we're functioning optimally. So, you know, that's why I gravitated a lot towards the ancient practices that dealt with the body as the temple of God, because that's where our sovereignty is, and that's what they're trying to get us away from. They know that. They know that if they're gonna put all these chemicals in the foods, or if they could get you to at least stuff your face all day, you're not gonna have access to nothing. You know, you're not gonna have access to none of the messages, you know. So I think it's, you know, like you were saying, that channel, there's a channel from the mouth to the rectum, and there's yogic practices to clear out that channel, but it's basically the vagus nerve. And so the last thing is, the reason why that's important is because for what's coming, it's more of an energetic or psychic, I'd call it more, electromagnetic, EMF type of weaponry that's going on here, more than it is some type of virus. But when our vagus nerve in our body is fully activated, anything from our outer environment, including a 5G tower, would be proven useless, because we're made in the image of the divine. And if man is going to come up with the technology and we're weaker than that technology, we're not listening to the divine. We don't have access to the divine consciousness, because I could go into a 5G city and just be drinking coconut water and be the healthiest person there. No mask, no nothing. And it's not because I'm special, but it's because my vagus nerve is optimally functioning. It's functioning.
Wow.
So yeah, it all ties in.
Yeah, that's powerful. And that's
you know,
what.
and also, well, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish.
Okay, yeah. One thing I was gonna say is that throughout these years, we've been prepped for this. We've been told about what's coming, and a lot of the star beings, if people believe in that or not, I mean, it's higher knowledge coming down, and it's saying that we're not supposed to be weaker than the 5G tower. We're not supposed to be getting affected too much because we're powerful. We're powerful. Yeah, I'm not going to run away from a 5G tower. If anything, we're gonna try to zap it out the ground or something. But, so yeah, not giving our mental away too much to these things. That's key. But yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Kwame, did you have a comment? I want when Kwame said the digest.
I was on mute.
Go ahead.
And what that said is very important, but the other part with the vagus nerve.
Yes.
But the thing that runs through our nervous system is what they call astrocytes. Those are cells that run through the human nervous system. And it's given that name for a specific reason, because that's the part that connects us to the astral. And once we understand how to work with those astrocytes, and being able to pick up the frequencies, because as above, so below. And with these alignments and where we are now in our Milky Way galaxy and in this solar system, the planetary alignments of our solar system and the planetary alignments with the outer planets in our galaxy, we're now aligning with a planet called SETH, and it's SEDNA. And that planet is a dwarf planet, and that planet only comes around every 11,700 years. And right now, this Earth and solar system is aligned with that. So you look at the energy that, and the name is for it's an Eskimo goddess of the Arctic waters. And the thing of this is that energy that's coming now, because our ancestors knew, this is why they even gave it the name and the goddess name, is because it knew that water that is frozen in the Arctic, that she is the goddess of, has a memory and consciousness that's being activated, and her name is spelled SEDNA. It's to see the DNA reactivated from the purity of that frozen Arctic water that was frozen millions of years ago when it came around before. These are the parts of what we're needing to understand, that the consciousness is just recycling. Life is a circle. And what we're now doing is we're moving from the Homo sapien to the Homo spiritus. And how do we go into that next level of evolution? Because evolution is the Creator's way of saying, you look at it from backwards to forward. It says, know it you love, and the Creator is love.
Hallelujah. And that's what we are. I am love. When I connect with that truth, that's a truth that we all should be connecting to, that the 9 months in the womb was all about love. It wasn't about, I'm going to bring you out to sin, a life of sin, and then you're going to have to bow to the Catholic Church, blah, 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 the dysfunction and the misinformation. We get misinformation right out. As soon as we come out the womb, all the misinformation hits us in the face with unconscious parenting and all that. But the Creator starts off with love in the womb. And then we have to remember that, like today, love is the Creator's love. This body is love if we are vibrating on the same frequency of the universe and the hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon that we are made of. When that digestive system shuts down, as Kwame mentioned, and as we're talking about, when there's no food coming in the mouth, the digestive system shuts down, or I would say it goes on a vacation. It's like, where's the food? Where's the food? Oh, no food. Okay, everybody take a break. Don't have to process any chemicals today. Don't have to process white bread and burgers and all that. Let's take a break. Everybody go. So what happens in the body? your consciousness rises. Your awareness of the cosmic order of things rises. Nature starts showing up bigger. Birds are singing. Trees look different. Everything about this journey becomes more intense and more focused on non-physical things. So, in a way, I want you all can respond to it. In a way, what happens when we stop eating, we go into a fourth dimensional reality more than the third dimension. Everything is physical. I need 3 meals a day. I got to have vitamin A, vitamin D. And Ellie Tom said to in a lecture one time, have you ever seen vitamin D? Have you ever seen vitamin A and vitamin B? Have you ever seen vitamin? Have you ever seen these things? So where did they get the idea of separating all these nutrients and then saying, well, you need this vitamin, you need that vitamin? Where'd that come from? We have to rethink this whole educational system that we're in, that has told us, and now the capitalistic system, that you need to buy this, and that, and instead focus on meditation with the cosmic energy that is love. So we're at the end of the show. I'm going to let you guys have the final word. Seth, do you have a final word for our audience on health on budget, whatever, as we move into a very challenging season right now of propaganda, let's say?
Yeah, I give myself a chance to connect with the Most High every day by getting quiet, by resting,
90 seconds,
by drinking more fluids and less eating. So I think that's the key, just tapping into the inner guidance, because we may not always have access to the technologies. We may not have access all the time, but it's a game changer if you know how to tap in and tune in, see what's best for you. At the end of the day, the Most High within you has all the answers that you're looking for. But the Most High is also in your gut. So give the gut
60 seconds.
Breathe. Let it have a day or two, or a couple of hours. That works out best for me. That's worked best for me, especially when it comes to addictions and all that other stuff. Yeah.
Thank you so
much.
Much
love to y'all. Peace, family.
Yeah, so much. Yeah. Kwame, did you have any last words?
Yes, and we're going into the season of fall, and following nature's seasonal direction, the order of nature is that we've had the spring that grew, we had the summer that was flourished by the sun and the produce that was produced from the spring. The thing is now, how do we harvest that energy to prepare for our hibernation come winter? And this is the part that
10 seconds.
Follow the order of nature. We are out of order. All of the animals and all of the insects and birds, everything in nature knows to follow the order. The trees will drop all of its leaves and stand naked in the winter because it knows it is stored in its roots through its wood wide web. It is still connected and being fed from the earth's energy that is beneath the earth. And what we have to begin to know is how to follow that order. And then we will be balanced with our world, because this is a challenge right now for the human being to do what is the order of nature.
Hallelujah. Absolutely. So one final word from my experience with my grandchildren. They're teaching me so much. But I'm starting to read them Psalm 91 because they have no church experience hardly at all, no Bible reading, nothing. Their upbringing is very different from mine and most of my generation. So I'm starting to read them Psalm 91. And so one night I took the time to just give them the first verse of Psalm 91. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And I asked them, I said, where's the secret place? And they kind of looked at me like, well, I don't know. And I said, close your eyes. And I said, you're now in the secret place. Now that was just the beginning, because what both Seth and Kwame said needs to be elaborated on in that secret place. What's going on inside? For one, as I think was mentioned, you start seeing colors when your eyes are closed and you're in a meditative, higher state of mind and body. Colors show up, and amazing things happen when your eyes are closed. But most important, I'm trying to, or I am teaching my grandchildren that there's a place of peace in your life when things get really hectic, when you don't know what to do. Close your eyes and breathe. And that's what the lesson for all of us, I think, is in these times of hectic uncertainty, fear, even. Close your eye. You might want to do some tapping as we demonstrated earlier. If you missed earlier, we did some tapping. And just breathe and go into that secret place and dwell with the Most High, which is in you. We have the Most High. All these functions, digestive system, breathing, all of that is the Most High in action, action. And then close your eyes and experience it on a fourth dimensional level, if you will. But that's our mission for the rest of the day and the year and the work. We got to be ready, ready, ready for the adversarial energy that is working every day to confuse you, manipulate you, and fool you, and even kill you. Find a word about Hawaii. I'm getting so much insight about what's going. Both people are having visions about where the children are because it's hashtag where are the 1,500 children that just poof disappeared. They're not even finding dead children's bodies. So where are the children? Sounds of Freedom comes to mind, and the latest is that there's a mountain in on Maui that some people, conspiracy theorists, whatever, are believing those children have been taken away for a evil purpose as usual. So prayers for Maui, everybody, that the people will keep their land, the indigenous people there. There's people who've been on that land for 9 generations. When you listen to some of the stories on YouTube, the stories coming from Maui, not the mainstream. Don't listen to anything mainstream media. They're not talking about bullshit. That's all they're talking about. But when you listen to YouTube, some of the testimonies of people there, you know that this is a spiritual battle, number one, and we need to be praying for them. And the more that comes out, the more we know of the corruption. Somebody needs to go to jail again, but that seems to be something in a dream world, that all this corruption we hear about, nobody's going to jail. They just talk about it. So spiritual battle. We're in a spiritual battle. Let's keep up the spiritual positive energy to technology, to telepathically. We got to activate our telepathic skills to make changes on this planet. We cannot depend on the government, the medical system, all that. Forget it. It's you and me collectively raising our consciousness, fasting, praying, getting in nature. That's the power we have today to make changes. So thank you so much for being here today to activate our wisdom and knowledge. And Naima Latif says, Grand Rising, powerful show. Thank you to all the voices of enlightenment. That's what we've heard today. So Seth, you got to come back again in the future, and hopefully we'll meet since you're right here in Florida. If you're ever in Orlando, could give me a call, and we got to meet somewhere for lunch or dinner.
All right, yeah.
All right, and just stay. You're beautiful.
As well, I'm in Miami. I'm in Miami on a fruit farm, working on a fruit farm. So y'all come and get some fruit, we out here.
Oh, that's awesome. I will tell my friends out down there to I'll give them your number, or I'll let you know that if someone's looking for you, because that's a beautiful place to be on a fruit farm. That's where to go. And Kwame, let's keep up the good work. Thank you, Kwame, for showing up every time and sharing your wisdom. That's interesting. We had 2 generations going here this morning, the baby boomer and the millennial giving their little, no debate this morning. We were just in perfect harmony. See, that's what happens when we're consciously traveling on planet Earth to bring light, to bring peace and harmony, that we meet millennials, we meet the babies, we meet baby boomer, and we just do what we're here to do, bring light and love. So everybody have a great weekend. Come back tomorrow for more Female Solution Wisdom. And we're going to say thank you now to our global family.
You can hear every show in the archives at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. You can also hear today's show on the Female Solution Facebook page. Go to www.facebook.com/the-female-solution. Leave your comments about today's show. You can always reach me on my website at www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. Watch our TV shows, listen to our radio shows, order our books, and be sure to get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussion. And to our global family listening from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, Sheshe.
Sheshe.
India, Zanyaba.
Sanyaba.
Japan, Arigato.
Arigato.
Korea, Kamsamnida.
Kamsamnida.
Russia, Spasiba.
Spasiba.
Germany, Danke.
Donke.
Poland, Jean-Kujong.
Jonkinyong.
France, Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
Spain, Gracias.
Muchos gracias.
Italy, Grazie.
Grazie.
Egypt, Shukran.
Shukran.
Ghana, Medasi.
Madasi.
Nigeria, Eshe.
Eshe.
South Africa, Gabon.
Niabonga.
Senegal, Geret.
Get it.
Kenya, Asante.
Asante.
Israel, Toda.
Toda rabah.
Pakistan, Shukriya.
Shukriyan.
Afghanistan, Tashakur.
Tashakur.
Saudi Arabia, Shukran.
Shukran.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. And may peace be upon you.
And
the
to
mercy of
all
God.
my yogi friends out there, Sadnam, Namaste. And of course, Hawaii, my brothers and sisters, we love you. We're sending power and relief and help, angels, messengers on their way. Aloha. Mwah. Have a beautiful day.